Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are watching this around the world. Welcome to Falls from Iron, and I am Gatesy, your host. We are here for the West Ham United squad player tier list series of season 2022-2023. Before I bring the guest in, please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and please make sure you hit that bell icon and for alerts on any new content as and when it's added to the channel. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this. So, sitting in the green room, looking rather comfortable. He is sitting there. He's ready to go. He's straining at the leash. Very good friend of the channel, and we're very pleased to have him here. I'd like to bring him in now. Jazz, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Start of another week, isn't it? It's Mondays. I don't like Mondays, but, well, nearly lunchtime, basically. So we're doing well, aren't we? I'm doing all right. Yeah, slightly better than our league form, but we'll come into that a bit later on. But, I'm not doing bad, mate.
Obviously, as we record this isn't due to go out until as I record this, ladies and gentlemen. We've just played the game at Brentford, which didn't really go according to plan, but we'll talk about that down the track. For now, for those of you who are not aware of who you are and where to find you, Jazz, please tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been on various channels for many years now, really. So my latest venture it's down there. It's West Ham Irons channel. So please subscribe and come on and watch the different programs we do. It's a bit different to other channels. We certainly look at the games once they're done. We don't do the review sort of previews. We do a lot of Hammer history stuff. We've done a 3-part series on Green Street, the Berlin, what it looks like now, with 3 fans from the past. Have a look at that. We do other things like we're going to be doing a West Ham 1980 special, speaking to fans who went to the match. So more about the experience and rather than what happened on the pitch. And we do sort of things like court cases. We did one on Sojek, should we keep him or not? And then there's defendants, prosecution team, the judge. So there's loads of different stuff we're doing and we'll be doing going forward. So yeah, but please join, subscribe, and watch some interesting content with me on it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jazz. And you're doing some good stuff there. I mean, I can obviously speak from experience. I know that a lot of people that don't run a YouTube channel think that it's an absolute doddle, and it absolutely isn't. And obviously you've stepped into the realm of running your own channel, and I take my hat off to anyone that does it, mate, and you're doing an absolutely magnificent job, it has to be said. So anyone that hasn't already done so, get yourselves over to West Ham Irons channel on YouTube. You've got the URL in the banner, just go onto YouTube and just put in West Ham Irons channel, and you'll see this very handsome man looking at you and giving some good content.
Great,
so,
thank you.
Let's crack on with business, Jazz. So I've brought you here. And yes, you did it last year, and it's just going to be really interesting to see how possibly your opinions on certain players have evolved in the intervening season. The tier list. Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar with how this tier list works, I'll just explain it real quick. So we've got the West Ham United first team squad at the bottom, as per Wikipedia. Above that, we have a tier going from top to bottom, long-term players of 3+ seasons, 1 or 2 seasons, not sure, and see ya. And it's really important. This is Jazz's opinion on the players. So this is where Jazz would put them if he was in charge of West Ham United, not necessarily where he thinks David Moyes has them in the pecking order. It's really important. So Jazz, are you ready to get stuck into it?
Yeah, can't wait, mate. Let's go.
Let's do it. So first on the list, we're going to go alphabetically to begin with. First one is Michail Antonio.
I'll put him in for the 1 or 2 seasons for me, I think.
Yeah.
I think, and that's a maximum. I know we've given him a reasonably long contract, which I not quite agree with.
3 years, isn't it?
He's 32. He's going to be 33 in March. Well, actually, sorry, he's just gone 32. So last month.
Yeah.
He's fairly. Well, he's much better in fitness than he was in terms of injuries. We've managed it brilliantly. I heard the diet was changed. He has lost a little bit of his bulk, so that's all helped. So yeah, a couple of seasons for him, which I don't want. As you know, I kind of lost my rag yesterday. I don't want him up front anymore. I'll keep him as one of the.
I don't think he is up front most of the time, is he?
Oh, I've given up thinking what it is, mate. So I want him one of the three that's behind a main striker that hopefully we'll bring in next season, but not up front anymore. No. So yeah, 1 or 2 seasons. That's okay. Yeah.
Cool. Now, this next one could be interesting because he's not technically our player at the minute, but Alphonse Areola, what are your thoughts on him, Jazz?
Yeah, I wanted him to, after the Sevilla performance, I wanted him to start so that we have a good look at him, towards the closing stages of the season. We all know what Fabianski can do, but for this guy, the sky's the limit. He's got everything in his game that you need. He's good height, athletic, confident, and goalkeepers, when he plays the Europa games, it's so unfair on him to come in, out, such a specialised position. He just can't get momentum, and he's done half okay in Europa, a bit more than that, but it is a hard task to keep coming in every so often and be great, but he's been okay. So for me, a long-term player for me, mate.
You'd sign him up.
Oh,
get him through the door.
14 million, and I'll bring Johnston in on a free. Bring both of them in for 14 million. And
wow,
yeah.
Okay.
That's not a bad deal. At least we really need to overhaul the goalkeeper area at our club long term, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got Fabianski, Martin, and Randolph to come. They're probably quaking in their boots already now. Okay. Next one we'll come to, and as I say, this is according to Wikipedia, our first team squad. So this next player, haven't seen much of him, so it could be quite difficult to assess. But give me your thoughts on Harrison Ashby.
What I've seen of him, which has been not much, he's very confident, aggressively attacking, which is brilliant, which I love to see in our fullbacks. And sometimes we don't see that from 1 or 2 of our players.
Yep.
He loses the ball, and that's obviously not what David Moyes wants. He doesn't encourage to lose possession, as we know. So he's going to have to sharpen that end up. But for me, I think there's something there. So I'll go for... I do like what I've seen, but is it perhaps not enough? So I'm going to go for not sure. I do want to put in 1 or 2 seasons, but...
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
I've got to be sensible, but I do like what I've seen. I think the serious defending side and maturity side of things we can work on, but he's got the natural game. So I'm stuck between not sure or 1 or 2 seasons. So I'm going to go with 1 or 2 seasons then.
Fair.
Because I think I want to put him on loan perhaps, but I do like what I see in him so far. Yeah.
Fair, no problem. Well, this next one could be quite contentious. Give me your thoughts on Saeed Benrahma.
Benrahma's been very poor last 2, 3, 4 games that I've seen. But the thing with Benrahma is, I'm there, you're there, we see it live, and a typical game, a couple of games ago, I think as an example, he mispassed about 10 times. But in that game, he got 1 assist. Mm-hmm. So at the end of it, he came out with 7 out of 10. It's really like, I don't think that's a fair, from what I saw, he was really poor. 1, 2 crosses went behind the goal in that particular game 2 games ago, and then he got the assist. So Benrahma's kind of up and down for me, really. Sometimes you don't see the true story of it if you see all the 90 minutes rather than the stats.
Yeah.
Again, he's trying yesterday, but he did keep losing it again, trying to do too many things, I think. So for me, this is a great one because I know Lingard, I know David Moyes loves him, and if Lingard eventually comes, then Benrahma's one of the few players we can get some money for, I think. And I don't think there's room in the squad at a club like West Ham for Benrahma and Lingard. It's one or the other.
Yep.
So again, it's a difficult question in terms of who do we bring in. It's all about who do we bring in. If we bring in a similar player to him, then I would release him, mate. I would release him if we can get another playmaker in there. So for me, I didn't think I'd ever say this, mate, but it's going to be not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to say it. If you can push Ashby into the 1 or 2 seasons, mate, that'd be great. Yeah.
What, you want to put him in 1 or 2 seasons?
Yeah, okay. I want to give him encouragement and say in the summer, mate, I'm not even thinking of letting you go, but I'm going to I'm going to help you improve. And if that's on
Next
loan,
season's important, isn't it?
there's no way I am reasonably confident with him. So Benrahma, not sure, mate. Let's see what he brings to the table in the remaining games, mate.
Whilst you're in the manager's chair then, Jazz, I'm just going to, and this is purely me playing a little bit of role play, but I saw a rumour, and it may be no more than that. But I heard a rumour about a possible swap deal involving Benrahma going back to Brentford. Now, should that be the case, if you had a choice between bringing in and swapping out Benrahma and bringing in either Ivan Toney or Brian Mbeumo, which one would be your preferred option and why?
I'll go with Toney because he's got the basic attributes that Antonia's got, but he's much more. He's a striker. Positionally, he's brilliant. He's had it difficult first season because Brentford were not really. I forgot how frustrating Brentford are to watch yesterday, mate. It was like watching Wimbledon from the 1980s, wasting time, throw-ins. So until Eriksen came, mate, as you know, Toney struggled to get assists and create. That's why I get frustrated. And Toney, I think we're a team who creates so much and we waste so much. When you look at other clubs like, Brentford, he'll get one chance in the game and he has to take it. So Toney, because he got a lot of potential there. We've been linked with him for many, many years now, and I think his price will be reasonably high. And I'm sure we still owe money on Benrahma, so we can come to a deal and really get a big name over the line. And it's a London club, so you won't have to move too far. If he doesn't, you might not even have to. So one of the reasons are. But then, does David Moyes like him or not? I don't know. That's the key question. I don't know if David doesn't like too many people. But for me, he's a penalty taker. He's very clever. He's strong. So that's one of the reasons, because he's one of the few strikers that is physically good enough to kind of lead the line for us, I think, and a lot of potential there. Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to get your opinion on it. It was a rumour that I saw floating around cyberspace yesterday, and it may be no more than a rumour. It may be no more than just someone's put 2 and 2 together and made 5. But I just thought I'd throw that one your way. But next one off the list, I would suggest a very strong contender for Hammer of the Year this season, Jarrod Bowen. What are your thoughts?
Long term, isn't it? Straight away, mate. He could perhaps be, looking from the outside, the fittest player at the club. I'm not sure. And that guy can just run and run and run, mate. You know, it's just amazing how he can play. I mean, he's just come back from injury and he's kind of hit the ground running as though he's never away. And he can put more away than he has, I'd say. He still needs to work on his finishing a bit more, and he'll become ever so valuable. But then we're thinking, mate, if you improve a bit more on that side, can we hold on to you? So for me, excellent signing by David Moyes when he came in. You know, he's on the brink of the England squad, as we know. That'll put his name out there even more amongst the big boys. Nothing to complain about. Just finish it. Just work on your finishing a bit more, and you'll be well in the England squad, mate. So really happy with him. Yeah, possibly needs to be a little bit more prolific, a little bit more lethal in front of goal. But having said that, he's doing amazing things. Brings us neatly to a guy who did amazing things last season. This season, maybe not so much, maybe not as effective, but give me your thoughts on the long-term future or otherwise of Vladimir Coufal. Yeah, it's been really odd. Even watching him yesterday, he wasn't great, mate. What I like about him is he's aggressive when he's attacking. So he's always on the halfway line or even further. And he was asking for the ball, waving his hands. This is what I want to see, which I don't see from Cresswell, but we'll discuss it a bit later on. So I do like his mentality, but he has been caught defensively more than once, I think, and he does lose it. And I saw it yesterday, mate. Moisey was staring at him. He had to go at him a couple of times. I don't think Moisey's he's on good terms with Moisey at the moment. He doesn't like what he sees with him. So he kind of came and he did hit the ground running and a half, didn't he? And now, shall we level out and say one great season, one not so great, and give him another season? Is he carrying an injury? We don't know. See, a lot of these players are knackered, mate, or they just not had enough rest. And I know one or two of them, like, was it Dawson was playing with injections we found out, didn't we, that we didn't know about. So God knows what else is out there. Let's stick with I'm not sure with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you say about Dawson
not
with injuries.
Not sure, sorry.
Yeah,
okay. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I do wonder because he had obviously the groin problem that took him out of the squad for a period of time, and I do wonder if that was something that was lurking in the background. Because as you say, we've got Craig Dawson that has been put out there that's been playing with an injury, and correct me if I'm wrong. We've also in recent seasons had I think Arthur Masuaku and Angelo Ogbonna played through an injury each. Obviously, in the case of Arthur Masuaku, it probably didn't make an awful lot of difference, but just putting it out there. But you're right, there is a record of us sort of having to sort of patch people up and send them out there. But again, that's probably a symptom of having such a small squad.
Yeah, and then telling the players, oh, carry on playing, but you have your operation in June, which is not a good way to manage individual people, you know. And the way I'm looking at this, Gatesy, I'm looking at this rather ruthlessly as a top 5, top 6 team.
Yep.
So in the teams of the past where we finished 15th, these two players, Benrahma, we would have been more than happy to have them. But when you're looking at the top 4, you're aiming at top 4, there's players that ruthlessly, I'm sorry, you're not up there. But you would have been if we in the good old days when we were 13th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 12th, no problem. But not in an ambitious way that I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. We come to his fellow fullback, but over the other side of the defensive unit, Mr. Aaron Cresswell.
He's possibly in a category that you haven't got, which would have been one more season.
You can put him in 1 or 2 seasons.
Of course, sorry. Yeah, I didn't read. Yeah. 1 or 2, please. Yeah, not more than 1 for me. He's living off set pieces, free kicks, corners, which I think have not been quite as good as last season. He can't defend, mate. I don't care what people say. He can't defend. He likes to tuck in next to centre back, so he doesn't get exposed 1-on-1 against the other team's wingers. He doesn't like defending, mate. Basically, he's not one of those. So we've got the best out of him. Been a long servant in the modern times, shall we say? Came from Ipswich under Big Sam, and did have a serious injury that perhaps, if it didn't happen, he was very close again to getting in the England squad, wasn't he? And Liverpool were looking at him. So just one more season for me. And certainly I think we need to look at our fullback position seriously as well. Because of no investment, 1 or 2 windows, mate, we've got a lot of positions that we need to look at. And I don't know how the club are going to solve this issue, mate. And he's one of them. So just one more for me. And certainly one of those players. I don't want him perhaps week on, week out next season in the team, I think. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Next player we come to, and we spoke about him just a little bit earlier, playing through an injury. Big Craig Dawson, who I think it has to be said in the Premier League era has been pound for pound one of the best value signings that we've ever made, isn't he?
Mate, God, he's got a heart, isn't he? That boy. He's a lion. He's a tiger. Bloody hell, that guy. I mean, I think unfairly he never came into West Ham thinking he's going to play every game. And
I think, didn't to begin with. He didn't play any games.
Yeah, and because of that, he's not going to be brilliant week in, week out, which the fans expect. I think as a squad player, someone on the bench, can't get any better than that. And for me, 1 or 2 seasons, he would go into there. I was saying to my son yesterday, 2-3 million, bloody hell, you know?
Crazy.
We got so much from him. He's a threat from corners, free kicks. I've been told he's a captain in the dressing room. He's one of those people, very, up there to help anyone else, and a leader. We saw the injury yesterday. It could come out today that it could be a broken nose or perhaps a bad, hit on it, and he'd never thought of coming off. Tony Gale said in the commentary that when he goes down, this is seriously up with him. He's a tough boy, and really happy with him. And I know there's some fans who, don't quite like him, but he's doing the best according to his ability. He's giving his all in every game. and he's helped us while Ogbona's not been around. And again, he's one of those who's helping because we just don't have enough players in the squad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to sort of play in a very physical, fast league, which again is difficult for him. Don't forget, he's been in the Premier League 10, 15, I don't know, whatever years. It's physically a tough league, mate, as a centre-back, and he's doing the best he can, and he's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, so we come to another centre-back. Now, this one could be a slightly different assessment from you, I wonder. All that, but this guy's got just as many fans as he has detractors, in fairness. So, is Diop?
See it for me. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's
gone.
But it's more for his benefit. I don't think it's worked out. I think he's got all the weaponry in his armour to be a great centre-back. He's got height. He's got pace. The thing he hasn't got, which someone could put, he hasn't got any brains, mate. He can't read the game. He's often, as you know, loses his marker. He's out of position. That's why with Zuma, we never see him rushing or struggling. Zuma's always there in the right places. And that's why someone's 30, 35 million and then someone's 10 million, whatever. So for his benefit, you're still young. Rescue your career, mate. You know, it's not going anywhere at West Ham. And he's okay. He'll have one decent game, then the fans think he's brilliant. And then he's bad again. He's okay again. And then you can't do that in the top 4, top 5. You've got to be at it more often than not. So for me, after that first season when he came, even Mourinho was mentioning him in high regard. It's just not worked out for him, mate, at West Ham. I'm afraid. He's a good guy. You can tell he's a good lad around the training camp. But perhaps he's... What I get from the impressions when I look at the training ground videos of him and Masuaku messing about, are they serious enough about their football?
Yeah. I wonder if it's a mentality thing. He's possibly a bit too relaxed, which is why he's making the mistakes he does.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys that's just like easy come, easy go. Do you know what I mean? And
again, we ain't got too many players we're going to get any money for, mate. He's one of them, you know? So it's like bring as much money in the coffers as we can and let's bring in as many new players as we can, really. Yeah. See you for me, mate. Yeah.
He's out the door. So now, obviously, you put Alphonse Areola in the top bracket. So what does that mean for Lucas Fabianski, I wonder?
Well, he's been given an extension, isn't he?
If he hadn't have been given the extension, would you have given him the extension, or would you have said, thanks for your service, mate, see you later?
Do you know what it is? Because I do understand I'm not judging it as David Moyes, but I'm looking at it in terms of how much money we've got. So I can't get away from that fact. And I'll have to give him one more season as someone on the bench, because I don't know how many funds we've got, you know?
Yeah.
So we can't get rid of everyone and then no one comes in. You don't want that happening. So
yeah.
So for him, he's okay for me, above okay, but not something that, again, goalkeeper's a very important position. We've seen Arsenal invest in Ramsey and reap the benefits. You know, it's an important position. So for me, I'm nervous when I watch him. He's not good at punching it, not good at sort of commanding the back four. He doesn't like to kick it because there's issues with his legs, I think, as far as the injuries. Very good shot stopper, but there's a lot of other stuff he doesn't do for me. So I'll give him another season on the bench for me, mate. Yeah.
Okay, so he's your number 2 next season.
Because we're not going to get any money by selling him at that age. So just keep him. And I think he's a good guy that we can use him as a coach. He's a good ambassador, I think. He's a good lad. Yeah.
Fair. Okay, so next one now, is he a central midfielder? Is he a left winger? What is he? He works bloody hard, I've got to say that, and he's very technically gifted. But give me your thoughts on Pablo Fornals.
Yeah, 1 or 2 seasons. Yeah, 1 or 2 seasons. Very good worker, hard worker. One of David Moyes' kind of favourites, I think, alongside 1 or 2 others. Yeah. Rarely gets dropped. Again, finishing is up and down sometimes, as we know. And some games suit him, some don't. But then I don't blame him, because I don't think that he's an every game player. He's a player that you now and again bring him out, bring him in, bring him according to the game. And you keep humping him every game, he's going to come unstuck, because he's just a little bit away from quality in terms of being 7 in every game out of 10, which I think, again, we've got to look at if we're going to be ruthless. So let's see how he grows, because he needs to grow a bit more, I think. Again, he's a bit of a Marmite player, splits the fan base. But more often than not, again, he's a good lad. Again, that's why the dressing room is, all these lads are really good. Quality up in the air sometimes, but they're not troublemakers. They do try. That's another thing of this team, David Moyes. They give it 100%, mate. And let's see if he's got a bit more in his locker. Let's see how he does in the Spain squad. We've got a couple of big tournaments coming up internationally. Let's see if he grows a bit more and bring a bit more. But I can't think of his. Yeah, is he a bit of a Joe Cole type that never found his position? I don't know. I know what you mean. I don't know.
Yeah, was he a central mid? Was he a winger? What was he? Second striker, Joe Cole, and same with Pablo Fornals. I don't think, to be honest with you, he's not a left winger for me. He's played the role to the best of his ability, and I can't knock him for that. As you say, he's an absolute workhorse, and you can never ever fault the guy for effort. But
the way I look at it, you bring in better players, and then great bench player, him and Dawson on the bench. Wow, and then you start now and again, in the cups, and then that's what I want from these players. I definitely don't want to lose them. I want to see, just keep an eye on them 1 or 2 seasons, definitely. Yeah.
Fair. Now, again, this is a player whose contract, as far as I'm aware, as we record this, is about to come to an end at the end of the season. But talk to me about Ryan Fredericks.
Easiest decision today. See ya. Yeah, got no time. Got no time for him, mate. Absolutely appalling. As a defender in Premiership, he's not Premiership quality. Can't read the game. Can't cross it. Can't do nothing. No, not for me, mate. I just don't want to be any more rude to him. But no, never worked out. Free transfer. Most injury-prone player we've had. Nah, mate, he's got nothing in his game. Again, I've heard he's Rice's best mate. That's why they want to give him another year. That's not really a good reason. No, he's just the quality's not there. Championship, not bad. Not Premier League. No, hasn't got a clue, mate. He's a calamity waiting to happen on the pitch, really. Yeah.
Fair. Well, we come to another right back. We're pretty well stocked for right backs this season, it has to be said. Again, is he a right back? Is he a left back? Or could he possibly even evolve into a centre back? Who knows? Give me your thoughts on Ben Johnson.
I think he's a right back, and we should stop messing him around and play him as a right back and give him a run in the team. Because if you do that, you install confidence in him. But what I'm worried about is obviously there's a contract waiting to be signed, and looking at it from the outside, I don't think it's good the way David Moyes is handling that situation. I think where, you play him one game, you pull him out again, then you play him left back, then you pull him out again, then you play him. I don't think he's happy with that scenario. And I'll give him 1 or 2 seasons to have a look at him. I think he could be okay.
Do you think that's the reason why he's not signed the contract? Because he feels maybe he's been mucked about and he's not being he's sometimes a square peg in a round hole?
I think it could be one of them. The other could be salary, I'm not sure, or the length of the contract. But I don't think it's nice. It's just like, because of our squad size, whenever there's a hole to be filled in, they just lump him in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's nice for progression of any player. You've got to stick him at there. And the other worrying thing is, has he been tapped up? You never know. I don't know. Someone could put his arm around him and say, listen, we wouldn't treat you like this, mate. You come to our club, we'll give you reasonably what you want, and you'll be my first choice right back. And if you say those words to someone, because we know David, he's doing so many good things, but he's stubborn, and I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him because he rarely changes his opinion on some things.
Yeah.
So, it's that one's not quite going to plan the way I wanted with Johnson at the moment. So,
fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next one again, can you judge this guy? As we record this, I think he's got 6 appearances in all competitions. Alex Crowell.
I didn't even think there were 6, mate. I know once the one game he started, the Man United League Cup, I think, and then I saw him in bits and bobs at Kidderminster. It's got to be Sia. I didn't see anything, which wasn't much, and it's not his fault, but even when I saw him in the Euros, Gatesy, I think I did mention he didn't have a good Euros, mate. He lost the ball a lot of the time. And again, it's a panic signing. It's not a David Moyes signing. It's a signing that, again, with 2 days to go, you haven't got anyone in. And then they've said, there's a couple of them scratching the surface. Should we just bring him in? And he's half-heartedly brought him in. And not for me, mate. Perhaps not Premiership material. And maybe in another league. Maybe you can tick along, okay. But no, not for me, mate. It hasn't worked out. No. And I didn't see anything that made me think, God, there is something there. I don't know. Kidderminster was awful, like a lot of them, to be fair. And it's feel fun because don't forget we haven't got a lot of money and we've wasted loan fees and wages amounting to over 10 million on this player. When you look at it,
it's a lot of money. Okay, well, the next one. He's had a little bit more impact this season, and he's had something of a comeback. It has to be said from an appalling injury. Manuel Lanzini.
I just want to check his age, mate. I don't know if you've got. I
think he's 29, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is that all? Okay, Lanzini had a really bad game yesterday, mate. I was looking at.
He wasn't alone.
I was looking at Ericsson and the other team and thinking, yeah, I know who I'd swap. But that's a different. It's not a straightforward contract for Ericsson. I don't think that's quite. You need to look at how they've signed him, the insurance premiums they've got to pay. Yeah, so he's 29 in February. He's looked good in Europa, so it's a shame he was suspended against Lyon. He's back in now. Again, he's definitely a David Moyes favourite. He gives him much more room to have crappy games than other players, shall we say, and keep him. Just looks a little bit, yesterday, physically outdone, wasn't he? Just pushed around, wasn't he? He just wasn't able to ask for the ball, grab it, that kind of thing. For me, he's one of those players, mate, that there's no room in the modern game for them players anymore. Those small playmakers. There's not many of them around. There's a few, not many. That's why I was saying that even we'll come to Sojek a bit later on. Alongside Rice, I'd like to see a Lanzini type, but a much physically bigger. I know Shelby. I know Shelby's not perhaps a good example, but someone like him who's big, tall, can spray balls, but put his foot in as well. Got that nasty side to him.
Little bit of bite.
So for me, I'd say not sure on Lanzini. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, because hopefully the bad injuries are behind him, and again, a very good player, part of a squad as a sub. Not week in, week out for me. I think he's physically get lost in a lot of games. Again, he's one of those Joe Cole types, one of those number 10s that don't exist anymore behind the front two. That little hole, he's playing the hole before. He can't play as a CDM. He's not strong enough. He's not a winger. Got a few of these.
Falls between the cracks a little bit.
Yeah, who's been with us from Bilic's time, and perhaps we did have room for players like that. So I wouldn't. Yeah, good lad, settled in the area. So not sure with him. I think in terms of, again, it depends on the window, mate. If we're able to bring in Lingard and perhaps another one, then I'll be happy about perhaps releasing one of Benrahma or him. I think to make room. Yeah, so not sure.
Fair enough.
Not sure. Yeah, if you want to carry that player on you, just for the odd game here and there, I don't know.
Yeah, fair. Now, the next player, I should put a little caveat with David Martin, because this is David Martin in terms of where you see him as a player, because I know there's a lot of people that have said, give him a job as a goalkeeping coach in the academy setup, and I've got no problem with that. But we're purely, for the purposes of this stream, purely concentrating on David Martin, the player. So where do you put him?
Yeah, Sia really, yeah. He came in at a time, as we know, was it Roberto? Absolutely terrible time. We just had to grab someone from anywhere to just help. And he's like an ambassador, does nice photos for the strips, for the club shop, walks around. I'd want to check what his contract is. I think it's all right, 10, 15, 20 grand. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think
he's not sort of like majorly sort of paid for a Premier League player, but he's probably paid a bit more than you and me, mate.
I'll tell you what, even if you're on 10 grand, that's nice, mate. It's comfortable. It's
put on the occasional sort of, bit of training gear, have your photograph taken. And you don't even have to turn up on a Saturday most times.
That's nice. And so certainly in terms of playing, just yeah, there's no room for him. But
No.
yeah, hopefully he'll stick around in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. Will this next player be escaping Jazz wielding his axe? I wonder. I have a funny feeling he might not, but Arthur Masuaku, Jazz,
See ya, mate.
you're getting the axe out.
I'm looking at my CRO and it's getting quite populated, mate. Yeah, it's getting quite. No, again, championship player at best. Calamity. That goal at Chelsea, mate. No one in the ground knew where has the ball gone. How the hell's it ended up in the
even Mass?
I didn't know in the ground. I was in the ground probably that you were. I just jumped up with everyone else, mate. I didn't know where the ball had gone.
Yeah, it was like it was as much of a shock as it was sort of like celebration. To be honest with you, it was like, what have I just seen?
No,
and it wasn't like, you know, it was a wonder goal. He meant it. He absolutely didn't mean it. No chance.
No, I might be wrong, but I think one of the Spurs goals was his fault. I can't remember now.
First one definitely was, him and Cresswell.
Him and Dupe in the back together, they don't pick up their markers, mate, you know? So for me, Sia, again, not much of a... No, I mean, we can crack jokes, have a laugh with him, and it's a bit funny, but been a complete waste this signing for West Ham, I think, you know, the amount of wages and stuff like that, so... Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Well, this is where I make a deviation. And the next player, you can see who he is, but I'm going to leave him till last. We're going to go to Kurt Zuma next. What are your thoughts on Kurt Zuma's future at the club?
Yeah, long term for me, 3+ seasons. Very, very fortunate, very lucky to have someone like him. God, mate, I can probably count on one hand if I've seen anything wrong that he's done. I cannot believe
Spurs
a player.
game, I think, was the Spurs away league game was the one that I looked at and went, But other than that, he's been rock solid. Yeah,
always there in the right place, never in a rush, can read the game, keeps looking over his shoulder to make sure he's in the right position where the player's marking is, you know. Being really good, as you know, the big Zuma chant, that gets everyone going in the ground. We love him. He's become a fan favourite. And hopefully he's put that event behind him and learn and move forward with it. So for me, great signing. And thankfully, thank God we actually bought someone out in that window that hit the ground running for us. I mean, really happy with him, mate. And I think we're lucky we've got him. But to keep players like him and Rice interested, we've got to make sure in Europe more often than not, mate, because a player like that, he needs European football. He's too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair assessment, Jazz. Andrei Yarmolenko next. Are you sharpening your axe for the Ukrainian wing wizard, I wonder?
Yeah, again, good lad, but again, it's from the great Pellegrini era where, we just bought players that didn't fit the mould and cost a lot of money, came with a really terrible injury record. That's why we got him. And what used to frustrate you and me was how you kept scoring for Ukraine in the internationals. Their captain, their man of the match, and then he'd come and join us for the weekend game and he'd be a completely different player. And I do remember that Everton goal when he came, when he turned their fullback inside out. And one thing he has got, mate, and we talk about Bowen finishing and Fornal's the boy can finish, you know. Yamo more often than not knows how to score. But I think the tricks have dried up. He's readable now, you know, easy to mark, you know. So, and not nice what's happened to his country this season either. But he's come in and out when he can. Good lad, again, popular probably around the squad. But I hate to see how much money's gone down the drain for him. But Sia for me just didn't work out, mate. Yeah. But there was a player in there though. There was a player in there
he's had moments, hasn't he? I mean, the first season. He started well. He got a couple of goals at Goodison, as I remember. He obviously then had that horrible injury against Spurs in the home game that first season. Second season, he obviously got that really important goal, the winner against Chelsea, when we was playing behind closed doors. We beat them 3-2, which was a game that was pivotal in us getting away from the relegation zone. And more recently, the first goal against Aston Villa, the ball was played in from Benrahma, one touch to control, second touch, the shot, and great goal. And then, of course, the winner on the tie against Seville. So he's had his moments, but they have been few and far between. And for a guy that you're paying in excess of $100,000 a week, and you paid £18 million transfer fee, you expect an awful lot more.
We can see a lot of mismanagement in the club, can't we, as we go through these players who've been at the club for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and we've seen nothing, but they've stayed because we can't replace them for one reason or another.
No one wants them.
That's
buyer beware, as they say.
That is honestly true, mate.
Yeah. Which could, I don't know your feelings on this next player. Again, some people think he's going to come good, and some people think that he's not all that. But Nikola Vlasic, what are your thoughts?
See ya for me.
Oh, straight in, boom.
Yeah. It's more to do with the money we've spent rather than anything else. Again, he's a good guy. He tries. He rarely loses a ball. But when you want an assist, when you want a goal, which is what he came in for, there's nothing there, mate. Do we want someone that just keeps the ball? In some instances, but when you've come in as the big money attacking signing in the summer and you look at the stats, not for me, mate. You've got to do a bit more. And then you saw that miss against Sevilla in the first leg. Oh my God, I think I might have put that one in,
Yeah.
No, just being honest out there. I mean, we talk about settling in. He has played in this league before with Everton. They got rid of him. I think that Russian club done us over, mate, with this one. We got done over with this one. Too much money for what I've seen.
Saw us coming.
Again, mate, it's about let's get some money back for him and let's start again. Don't do it like Villa. Okay, we bodged up loads of stuff, but let's go again. You don't just keep him on for the sake of it, because so many players have just been kept on. I don't know what we're waiting for. I know a season is cruel, but it's we haven't got money. We're not Chelsea where we can afford these 10, 20, 30 million pound players to just do nothing. We need to get rid of them and recycle them.
Yeah, really, we need to get a bit more bang for our buck.
Yeah, and go again. Yeah.
Fair enough. So, next one, the incumbent, as we record this, Hammer of the Year, Thomas Sojek. Again, same as his Czech compatriot, Vladimir Kufal. His output this season has not, for whatever reason, been up to the standard it was last season. So, what are you thinking?
This is tricky in terms of I'm thinking good about him. But there's a lot of things I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is I want a better CDM than him next season. I don't want him next to Rice. I want Ward-Prowse. I want the Wolves guys. I want someone who can do a lot more with the ball rather than just keep running. Well, he just keeps running. I see that. He doesn't get injured. He's physically fit. But I don't see anything. I don't see all the tackles Rice does. I don't see that many interceptions, but what I do see is a lot of running, and he's there.
Aerials as well. He does. He wins his fair share of aerial duels. It has to be said.
Yeah, he's perhaps does he need a more aggressive side to him, but you can't put that into someone. He's what he is. So what I'm thinking is, 1 or 2 more seasons. I think, see how he's ticking along. Yeah, certainly don't want to get rid of him. No way, because it's hard to find players like that. And he's done okay. But again, looking at the top 4, top 5, I want someone next to Rice with more to offer to the team. Like Modric, like Ian Bishop, like John Moncur. They could do both jobs. Put their foot in, ask for the ball, dictate the play, how it's been done, and help the front four. We've seen games that have been dwindling a bit flat, and we've not that bit of spark, even like yesterday, which Lanzini didn't provide. If we had someone like maybe Ward-Prowse, I know his team bloody lost 6-0 and things like that, but someone like Neves or Moutinho, someone who's can do both sides of the job next to Rice, I think. So, and he'll be great on the squad and great coming in more often than not, mate. And as from the bench. So, yeah. Again, I think great player when he came in, but perhaps we need someone tad bit more than him to get that extra top 5 more often than not. Yeah.
Well, you've mentioned his CDM partner, Mr. Declan Rice, and he's the next one on the list. So talk to me. Where do you see the current team captain?
What I'm worried about is how much money we've got. And I got my feeling in January we had no money. The 40 million that came in from the Czech guy went straight to ways repaying the director's loans, I think.
Yep.
That's what I'm worried about. And our club hasn't got a history of when we get to a position where we look half decent, we never push on. That's my worry. And then why I say that is, are we going to sell him and then try to cover that by like that Phillips bid? That looked like a Rice sale cover-up. They're trying to grab him first in January, and so if we get rid of him, we can say we already bought someone in. Yeah. I can't see the West Ham way is that we keep him and then we spend another 60, 70 million. I don't see that. The West Ham way is we sell him and then we spend 70, 80, I think. But for me, for this show and the format, it's long-term for me. From my point of view and request and want, but the powers above that control the managers, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
The Czech guy, how much money has he lost in this war? I don't know. We are in his portfolio alongside Sainsbury's and other things he's got up his sleeve. How much aggressively does he want West Ham to do well? I don't know. It all comes down to that, mate. Yeah, and just keep an eye on, because there's already a bit of stories coming through from his camp that 120 million, would he let him go? He wants to move. This is a season he wants. I don't know, mate. Yeah.
Well, indulge me if you will. So you're David Moyes, or if you want David Sullivan, whichever pair of shoes you want to put yourself in. Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, whoever comes knocking at your door. We'd like Mr. Declan Rice, please. We got 120 million quid. Are we going to have a deal?
No,
okay.
Not for me. No.
Let's put our hands in our pocket a little bit deeper. Let's go 130. How does that work?
No, as a manager, I can't sell Rice.
Right, okay, I'm going to have to go deeper into my pocket here then, Mr. Moyes. Right, okay, here's 150 million quid. We shaking on it? Oh, you're tempted. I'll tell you what. Right, it's another 10 million quid, 160.
It's stupid of me saying I'm going to have to say no, not selling at any price. Yeah, not selling at any price.
Just another 20 million. Here's another 20 million. Right, 180. 180. Can
I'll have to.
Can I shake your hand?
180, yeah, 180, yeah.
We've sold him for
because it got silly.
Gentlemen.
Because it got silly, didn't it? But 120, I can't replace him in 120. I can't.
Yeah. But 180, it becomes like, mate, he becomes what, the second highest player in the history of the game at that point.
120 is like Leeds wanting 60, 65 million for Phillips, and I'll get one more over. That's it. But what I see week in, week out is a robot who doesn't know how to do anything wrong. And his engine is Rolls Royce. I mean...
Even when he has a game where people say he hasn't played well, it's always they're comparing him to games where he has played well. But the thing is, even when he hasn't played well by Declan Rice's standards, you ask them, well, what would you give him out of 10? And it's like, well, I'll give him a 7.
What a player!
And that's a bad game, really.
I mean, he's very good for England, which makes me think that he should be able to settle at another club. But sometimes you're not, and we mustn't look away from that fact that maybe there's a reason why he's loved at West Ham. He plays so well. Will he play like that at Chelsea? I don't know. Because he's selling for 120. I mean, I'm sure the way I'm thinking of it is I keep him and I try to get, even if I can get 60 million out the club, that makes me happy. You know, he's hard to replace. I mean, CDMs are hard to get hold of in the world, and he's just worth too much. And
that good.
He's my captain. He's a role model. He's physically a machine. He never gets touched. He never gets injured. He plays week in, week out. There's too many words to describe him that he means so much to fans like us in the club. 120, 180, yeah, because he got silly. Then I'm like, all right, if you're going to be all right, but 120 don't do it for me, mate, anymore.
Fair.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
so he's out the door for a 180, but not a penny less. Are you listening, Real Madrid or Chelsea or any of you others? It's 180. Because in charge. No,
because you've got to be fair to the player as well, Gates. If you're not winning anything as a club or at least Europe, you can't keep him in a jail. You can't You've got to be fair to him.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I think what's fair, my discussion would him in the summer would be one more season. If we get Europe, can you know, that kind of thing. I think he's coming to the end slowly. Because another thing sort of forgot to mention, has he got 3 years left with that option included, 2 plus the 1?
I think his contract expires in the summer of 2025 with the
option
extra year included.
Got to keep an eye on that as well, you see.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is these big boys are all after Haaland. So if you can't have both, you can't have Rice and Haaland, any club. You've got to have one or the other.
Yeah.
And Barcelona are busy picking up. They haven't got no money. Madrid are not going to. Madrid want Haaland. So we might keep him. And it depends on Liverpool. If Liverpool win the Champions League, which looks very likely with their draw, they could entice anyone to come in, I think.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Although the only thing I would say is that they don't, Liverpool don't have the track record of spending stupid money. Like, I don't think they've ever spent 3 figures on a player, have they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they want Bowen.
So I don't think they're going to go. They wouldn't go to 180. Definitely not. So.
No. Their owners, American owners, that's why they're struggling to get the Salah contract done. Yeah.
So we're down to the last 3 now, Jazz. Next one, well, Darren Randolph. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, see ya. God, I didn't even know he's still there. No. Don't need Randolph. No, we've moved on from that bottom 5 team that you would have been all right. But as a club looking up rather than down, there's no room for people like Randolph. Yeah, see ya, mate.
Fair enough.
Enjoy your parties, mate. Yeah.
Down to the final 2. And this next one could be interesting because he hasn't, as we record this, yet made his comeback from a very bad injury. Angelo Ogbonna performing very, very well before the injury, but how much has that possibly taken out of him? Well, at the minute, we don't know.
Right, again, you might have to help me. I'll have a look. I want to look at his age.
Angelo Ogbonna, as we speak, is 21? 30... don't know where that was going. 33. 33. He turns 34 next month.
Okay.
But then again, Italian defenders, I mean, look at Franco Baresi, look at Paolo Maldini. They all go on till they're like 37, 38, no problem.
Yeah, one or 2 more seasons, mate. Yeah. Certainly no more new deals, nothing like that. And there's no point getting rid of. No one's going to buy him at 34, 35, a reasonable money. So you just keep him in the squad, mate, ticking along. Yeah.
And also, I mean, I look at it and I think, well, not just that, providing he comes back from the injury in reasonably good nick, he's a left-footed centre-back, which there's not a great deal of them in world football now. Certainly not ones that could operate at Premier League level as consistently as he was before the injury. And that's the thing. That is the little asterisk. It's how much has that injury taken out of Angelo Ogbonna? Is he 80% of the player he was before? Is he 50% of the player he was before? It's kind of difficult to gauge it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So and another thing we mustn't miss out is that him and Zuma had formed a very good partnership, which is hard to find at any club, isn't it? If you get 2 centre backs that look so good together, we mustn't overlook that fact. I'll keep him in there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And we come to the last player. Now, it's club captain, Mr. Mark James Noble. Now, we are aware that come the end of the season, he is going to depart London Stadium. And I suspect that at that point, he will call time on his career, although that's not officially been confirmed. But if Jazz was the manager, would Jazz be tempted to put his arm around Mark Noble's shoulder and go, come on, mate, you're a long time retired. You can give me one more season, coming off of the bench, scoring the odd penalty here, League Cup games there, mentoring the younger players? Or would you be saying, yeah, cheers, Mark, see you later? Where would you, how would you deal with that one?
It's more on Sia, I think. A bit more leaning towards there, I think. Yeah.
No room for sentiment.
I think it's going to be hard for him as well. I think pushing him to start a Premiership game, it's going to be difficult for him. I think, especially in that area of the pitch where you're up against Højbjergs and monsters like that. It's difficult. I mean, to be fair, he's looked okay, you know that, when he's come in. He's looked useful, shall I say. But then another season, I'm looking at it, his birthday's in May. He's 35 in May.
Yep.
Shouldn't be relying on him, should we, really? 35. I know you got people like Milner.
Even he said that himself, in fairness.
I know you got people like Milner that are very, very fit, very physical. It have to be Sia, I think. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so. I think. Yeah.
If you're a Premier League manager, there's no room for sentiment, Jazz. You're looking to achieve things, and sometimes you got to get the axe out. And look at that bottom row. You have got the axe out. It has to be said.
Well, the thing with Noble is you don't want people like me shouting at him after a game. That doesn't look nice. You don't want to remember him as a slow guy who played poorly in his last season and numerous times. That's not nice. That's what happened to Nolan, which I didn't like. I loved the guy.
Yeah.
So that's unfair on him as well, you know.
The old saying, isn't it? Get out when the crowd want more.
Yeah.
You know, that's the trick. Don't get out when they're sort of like they're going, mate, your time was up a year or two ago. Get out when the going's good, as they say.
Yeah. How many of these have you done?
I think probably about half a dozen or so now.
And what about that last row? Is that?
I think you've got the gold medal. I think from memory, I think you've got the gold medal for wielding the axe. You are the axe man, Jazz. I'm fairly confident.
Do you know what it is with me? You probably know, Gates. You know me a reasonable time. I'm black or white in the world. Like I go yes or no. I don't diddy and daddly. I know exactly what I want and what I don't want, and I just get on with it.
Just
you know,
bang, done.
Yeah,
no emotion. Nothing personal, but we're moving on.
Yeah. It's either wrong or right, or in and out. Simple. Yeah.
Fair. Okay, I'm going to go full screen with this, ladies and gentlemen, just for your viewing pleasure. So in the long-term players category, Jazz has put Alphonse Areola, Jared Bowen, Kurt Zuma, Declan Rice. 1 or 2 seasons we have Michail Antonio, Harrison Ashby, Aaron Cresswell, Craig Dawson, Lucas Fabianski, Pablo Fornals, Ben Johnson, Thomas Sojek and Angelo Ogbonna. He's not sure about Saeed Benrahma, Vladimir Kufal and Manuel Lanzini. But in the senior category, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks, Alex Crowell, David Martin, Arthur Masuaku, Andrei Yarmolenko, Nikola Vlasic, Darren Randolph, and Mr. Mark Noble. Jazz, we are at a conclusion of this particular venture. But 2 things. I'd like to thank you very much indeed for your participation and giving us your time on this afternoon. I know time is precious to all of us, so thank you very much indeed. And before I let you go, please feel free to give a plug out to your channel once more, please. Yeah, follow me on the West Ham Irons channel. We do lots of different things. Like I said, we kind of look at the games more often, not once they've finished. We do like a Hammer History program on there and 1 or 2 other new shows, really. So, yeah, follow us on there. And sometimes I try to do live, instant sort of my views of the game in the ground as soon as they're finished. We like to do those as well. And then sometimes it is hard. We try to get some fans in the ground before the game if we can. We haven't done too much of that recently, so we'll try looking at that again. We've got the court show where we did the Sojek thing and we have people defending him or prosecuting him and the jury decides what should we do. Bit of fun like that. And we got the Hammer 1980 FA Cup fans going to be coming on the show in a couple of weeks' time about their experiences. So we're always trying to do new things, really. So yeah, follow me on there. You have lots of different guests and stuff on there and interesting things, really. So, yeah, West Ham Irons channel, please support and subscribe. Yeah, please do, guys. It's a really good channel. He's got lots of different ideas, has Jazz, and he's obviously, as you've seen here, very articulate, knows his stuff, all things West Ham United. As far as this is concerned, we are now at our conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you hit that bell icon. You'll be alerted on any new content we upload to the channel. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Jazz, what are we, my friend?
Massive.
We are absolutely massive. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.